Hello, my name is Lisa Forbes, and I'd like to tell you about my new book, I Can Take It From Here, a memoir of trauma, prison, and self empowerment. I grew up with five brothers and sisters in a cramped public housing apartment on the south side of Chicago, where I endured religious, emotional, and sexual abuse. Books and reading were my refuge. At 15, I graduated from high school. But rather than being sent off to college, I was given a full time job in a downtown office. At 16, I was pregnant by a man I met on the job. And when my daughter was just a toddler, I stabbed her father and spent the next 14 years in prison for murder. I support criminal justice reform, and I recognize that racism and poverty are issues that must be addressed by the criminal justice system. But those reforms would not have prevented the crime I committed. And they also would not have helped me to be able to lead a so called normal life upon my release from prison. I needed to understand and confront my personal trauma history before I could accept that my past did not need to dictate my future. After prison, I moved to Atlanta and entered into a marriage that, in many ways, almost perfectly recreated my trauma patterns from childhood. Once I understood my trauma history and began to address it first on my own and then with the help of a practitioner in Colorado, where I live now, I was finally able only then to move forward. My book tells my story, but in many ways, it is the story of millions of other people. Practically everyone who is released from prison has a history of trauma. Following me on my journey, the reader will discover concrete ways that America can dramatically reduce its current 60 to 70% recidivism rate for former felons, whom I like to think of and refer to as restored citizens. I hope that you will find my story engaging and inspirational and informative. But my ultimate dream is that it will start a national conversation about trauma awareness and treatments that can empower not just restored citizens, but anyone with a personal history of trauma to finally get to the point where they will be able to say, that was then, this is now. I can take it from here.